You felt the coldness of that empty chair at dinner time and the weight of the silence that settled in your room like an unwelcome visitor. Perhaps you counted the minutes, the hours, and the years, feeling that time is passing and that your importance has diminished in the eyes of the world. You looked at the recent absences and called them abandonment, but I, your creator, call it protection. I removed them to heal you from wounds they didn't even know they were causing you. You are not growing old alone, for I am here, and what seems to be a desert of solitude is, in fact, my private garden, where I will restore your soul from the marks the world has left. There was a time when the voices around you were so loud that you could no longer distinguish what was your own essence and what was merely the expectation of others. Therefore, I myself surrounded your path with this profound silence. If today you feel your hands trembling a little more as you hold your coffee cup in the empty kitchen, or if the night seems too long as you lay your head on the pillow, know that I allowed this separation so that we could finally have this intimate encounter. I needed to take you to a place where no one else can reach you, to give you a cure that no medicine in the world could offer. Many have left your life. Many have been lost in the dust of the road, but I remained faithful. And today I want to show you that the loneliness that frightens you is, in fact, the setting for your greatest spiritual victory. If this voice of mine is reaching the depths of your spirit now, and you feel that these words were written for you, tell me your name in the comments below. Tell me from which part of this world you are hearing my call and what time the clock shows in this moment of surrender. Now let your heart speak louder than your fear and write here as a cry from one who recognizes my presence. Lord my God, I am here. I signed up because I love you and truly want to hear you. Don't leave before the time is right. Stay with me until the last breath of this journey, for I have a clear answer to the doubt that robs you of sleep. At the end, I will whisper a unique phrase to your heart, a key that will open doors you thought were locked forever. Whoever receives and writes this phrase in the comments will feel the prophetic blessings that I have already begun to release upon your life at this very moment. I know that silence hurts, but it is in it that I rebuild you. You wonder why the laughter has ceased and why the invitations have stopped arriving. I tell you it was a deliverance that your eyes cannot yet fully see. Tell me, what is your heart pleading with God for in the midst of this silence? Amen. Sit down for a while and rest your spirit. I saw you enter that kitchen at 3 in the morning, seeking a glass of water to calm the arrhythmia in your chest. The cold ceramic floor beneath your feet and the constant lonely hum of the refrigerator seemed to echo the emptiness that had settled in your life. You looked at the empty chairs and felt a pang of sadness, as if time were stealing from you not only your youth, but your place in the world. But listen carefully to what I tell you. At that moment, when the yellowish light of the kitchen was your only company, I was sitting at the head of that table, watching over your every breath. You are not aging in cruel abandonment. You are maturing under my watchful gaze. I needed to allow the noise of parties, trivial conversations, and presences that only drained your energy to dissipate. You think it was fate or the ingratitude of others that emptied your house, but it was I who designed this sacred isolation. I pushed them away because the noise of those people prevented you from hearing the beating of my heart. To heal you from this neediness that made you accept crumbs of attention, I brought you to the silence of the early morning. It is in this setting, where the smell of reheated coffee mixes with the aroma of your tears, that I begin to stitch together the pieces of your soul. Your hands, which today bear the marks of a lifetime of work and care for others, may tremble a little now, but they are safe in my powerful hands. Do not fear the wrinkles the mirror reveals or the quietness of your room. These are merely the frames of a work of art that I am still finishing. The world may only value what is new and noisy, but I find beauty in your story, in your resilience, and in your faith that insists on not fading. If this divine whisper has found shelter in your soul now, show your gratitude to the Father by leaving your affection on this video and share this sign of love with that person you know who also faces nights of loneliness. And if you wish to continue hearing what I have to reveal to you, become part of our family of faith by subscribing, so you never miss my call. Tell me one thing, in the depths of your silence, what is the weight you carry when no one else is watching? Write this word of trust in the comments, sealing that you recognize my care, sustenance, But don't think this isolation will last forever. I am preparing something in your life that requires you to be purified of all external influences. There is a secret I have kept to tell you only when we are alone, and what I will reveal to you next will change the way you see every loss you have suffered. My daughter, as the shadows of the afternoon lengthen and the silence of your home deepens, I want you to understand that your life is not made of losses, but of seeds. I brought you to this place of stillness so that you could see that your time is not ending, but blossoming in a new way. There is a sacred mystery in the act of sowing in the soil of my word, a gesture of trust that says you believe in what I am doing in your invisible self. If you feel that this moment between us is healing your wounds, and only if it is possible for you, transform this gratitude into a seed of love through this channel. Consider my immense love and the sacrifice of my Son Jesus for you, and contribute using the link in the description of this video and in the first pinned comment. There you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before me, the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount. If you want a different amount, just type in the desired amount and remember, only what fits in your heart. I receive with love. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is the heart with which you give. For what is little for you can be much for the one who receives. Whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart, don't forget to leave your name and city along with your contribution, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel Divine Love, The Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 9 and 10, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to bear fruit. I watch in secret and reward in the sight of all." Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. I know that sometimes scarcity tries to whisper fear, but I am the owner of gold and silver. You are safe in my care, and what you give today will flourish like a garden of peace in your glorious tomorrow. The marks that time has etched on your face and the invisible scars you carry in your soul are not signs of defeat, but seals of a survival that I myself sustained. You look in the mirror and sometimes feel the weight of the decades, remembering the nights when tears were your only company and the pillow was damp with a pain that no one else saw. I was there, in every season of suffering, holding your hand when you thought you couldn't take another step. These marks are the chapters of a story of resistance that I wrote with you. They tell of the battles you won in silence, of the sacrifices you made for those you love, and of the strength I placed in you when the world said you were fragile. Your scars are beautiful in my eyes, for they prove that, though the fire was fierce, it did not consume you. Remember that grey afternoon when you felt all was lost? The smell of rain hitting the asphalt and the cold that invaded your chest as you wandered aimlessly, feeling forgotten by everyone? At that moment, I was weaving your healing. I allowed the pain to touch you so that you could know the depth of my comfort. For it is written in Isaiah chapter 43, verse 2, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned, the flames will not set you ablaze." This promise is the anchor of your life. You have passed through deep rivers and intense flames, but look at yourself now. You are still standing, and my presence is what keeps you firm. Do not allow the bitterness of the past to steal the sweetness of your present. Those who hurt you and whom I removed from your life can no longer touch your essence. They were merely tools of a necessary pruning so that you could grow in wisdom and grace. Now, in the silence of your maturity, I want to show you that your best stories are not about what you lost, but about how I rebuilt you from the pieces. If this truth is warming your heart, and you feel that these words are closing old wounds, like this message so I know it reached the right place. Share this balm with someone who is still struggling with the shadows of the past, and subscribe to continue hearing my voice. Tell me, deep in your soul, what pain are you finally ready to give me today? Write this word of liberation in the comments, declaring your new season, reborn. But don't think the healing ends here. There is something even deeper that I want to give you, a nourishment I have prepared for your days of thirst. Do you feel the weariness that sometimes weighs on your eyes after so many nights of vigil and hidden tears? I know that the profound healing we are beginning now needs constant care, like a gentle remedy that soothes the soul on the coldest nights, when the silence of the house seems to echo its oldest pains. If your heart desires to delve even deeper into this intimacy we are building here, know that I have prepared a special gift for you, a journey of faith that I wrote with all my love and affection for all my beloved daughters and sons. It is my digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was designed to be your silent and faithful companion, day after day, guiding your steps and giving you direction when loneliness tries to convince you that you have been forgotten. You can find the path to this gift in the link I left in the description of this video and also in the first pinned comment. But listen carefully to what I tell you. If today it is not possible for you to walk this path, do not allow condemnation to touch your spirit. Do not blame yourself and do not feel indebted. Remain here with me, simply listening to my voice, for I too will sustain and strengthen you through this message and my embrace that now envelops you. And so that your heart may rest and you may have no doubt, understand that soon after you register, access to this spiritual nourishment will arrive directly at the email address you registered. There you will find all the correct instructions explained step by step so that you can begin your daily walk of intimacy with me without any stumbling. For it is written in Psalm 119 verse 105, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path." This devotional will be that light in your mornings of new beginnings and your sustenance in the hours when the world seems too noisy. Now, my daughter, I ask you to take a deep breath. Let my peace fill your heart and continue on this journey with me, for what I have prepared to show you next will reveal why your maturity is not a burden, but your greatest authority before the kingdom of heaven. Do you remember the names you crossed off your list lately and the voices that gradually stopped echoing on your phone? There was a time when your house was full, the sound of laughter filled the hallways, and you felt needed, almost indispensable. But suddenly silence settled in. You looked around and realized that many of those who swore to be by your side during stormy times had disappeared when the first gray clouds appeared on your horizon. You felt the bitter taste of rejection and the excruciating pain of seeing people you loved following paths where there was no longer a place for you. You wondered what you had done wrong, if your value had expired with the passing years, or if your company was no longer interesting. Listen to what I tell you now, while the wind blows outside and the silence of your room tries to convince you that you have been forgotten. It wasn't life that took them away. It was I who removed them. I needed to perform a painful pruning in the garden of your soul to ensure that you continued to live. There are people who, if they had stayed by your side, would have suffocated your faith and drained what little strength you had left. I saw the conversations behind your back. I saw the envy disguised as advice. And I saw how your light was fading as you tried to illuminate those who didn't want to leave their own darkness. The sound of that door closing wasn't a sign of abandonment. It was the sound of a deliverance that I myself signed. For it is written in John chapter 15 verse 2, "Every branch in me that does not bear fruit he cuts off, and every branch that does bear fruit he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful." You are in this process of cleansing. It hurts to see the branch being cut off. It hurts to feel the absence of the one you thought would be eternal. But this cleansing is what will allow you to flourish with a strength you have never experienced before. I am removing what is fleeting to give you what is eternal. I am removing those who distract you so that you can focus on my face. If you can perceive that the recent losses were, in fact, invisible hands of protection over your life, leave your sign of gratitude here in this encounter and share this message with someone who still mourns for someone who should have already left. Sign up for this journey if you wish me to continue clearing your path of everything that prevents you from growing. Tell me with all the honesty of your being, who is the person you are still trying to hold on to? Even knowing that I have already asked you to let go? Write this word of authority in the comments, accepting my care, deliverance. But don't think that this emptying is to leave you alone in old age. There is a secret about your age, and about the beauty I see in you that the world would never tell you. And that is what I want to talk to you about now. You stand before the mirror, and sometimes the image you see seems strange to your own heart. You count the fine lines around your eyes and see the silver strands that begin to crown your head, and a subtle tightness rises in your chest, whispering that your time of being seen and valued is behind you. The world out there loves what is new, what is noisy, and what is still unscarred, but I do not see as man sees. While society tries to convince you that you are fading, I am looking at you with an admiration that cannot be expressed in words. To me, you are not aging. You are becoming a masterpiece of wisdom and spiritual authority. Each mark on your face is a map of a victory we have achieved together, and each year that has passed is proof of your resilience under my wings. Do not let the loneliness of this phase make you believe that your value has diminished. You are not an old piece of furniture, left in a corner of a dusty room. You are the treasure I have kept to reveal at this very moment in history. I removed the distractions of your youth so that now, with a calmer gaze and a firmer heart, you could contemplate my glory without haste. You are not walking towards the end. You are walking towards the fullness of what I planned for you from your mother's womb. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 4. Even to your old age and grey hairs, I am he who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will protect you. Listen carefully. I carried you when you were a child running barefoot. I sustained you when you faced the pains of adulthood. And I will continue to carry you now that your steps are slower and more prudent. My love for you does not depend on your physical strength, but on my eternal faithfulness. You are precious to me, not for what you can do, but for who you are in my presence. If this truth is restoring the sparkle to your eyes, and you feel that my presence is renewing your strength now, leave your sign of love in this encounter and share this message with a friend who also needs to know that she is still loved and seen by heaven. Subscribe so we can continue these conversations in the evening. Tell me honestly, when you look in the mirror today, can you see the beauty that I see in you? Write this word of honor in the comments. Accepting your divine identity, precious, but prepare your spirit, for my presence is not just an idea or an abstract feeling. I want to show you something about how I touch you when the lights go out and the pain tries to return. Do you remember that night, not so long ago, when the darkness of your room seemed to weigh heavily on your shoulders? You turned off the television because the noise no longer filled the void, and you sat there in the corner of the sofa, your feet tucked under the blanket, looking at the shadows the furniture cast on the wall. The silence was so dense that you could hear the beating of your own heart, a sound that reminded you of your fragility and of those people who were no longer there to ask you how your day was. You felt a chill, not from the wind that entered through the crack in the window, but from the sensation that the world had continued to turn without you, leaving you behind in that room plunged into twilight. At that very moment, when a solitary tear ran down your face and was lost in the fabric of the pillow, I was leaning over you. You couldn't see with your natural eyes, but my hand was gently resting in your hair, and my arm was around your tired shoulders. I wasn't just observing your pain from afar, I was immersed in it with you. While you thought the darkness was your hiding place, I transformed it into my private sanctuary. The darkness that frightened you was, for me, only the veil I used to shield you from everything that distracted you from my voice. For it is written in Psalm 139, verses 11 and 12, "If I say, 'Surely the darkness will hide me, and the light around me will become night,' even the darkness is not dark to you. The night shines like the day, for darkness and light are both alike to you. For me, that dark room of yours was flooded with my glory. I saw you clasp your hands tightly, offering a wordless prayer, just a groan from someone who no longer knows what to ask for. I heard that groan as the most beautiful of hymns. I silenced the noise of the world so that you could finally feel the warmth of my touch. You do not age in a vacuum of loneliness. You mature in the center of my embrace. That feeling that someone was watching you with infinite love was not a figment of your imagination. It was my reality enveloping you. I was there to tell you that while the lights of human friendships fade, my light remains lit, guarding your sleep and your soul. If you felt that sacred shiver just now, as if my hands were touching your face at this moment, Leave your sign of faith here, and share this mystery with someone who is afraid to turn off the lights in their own life. Subscribe so that my voice may be your first and last companion on every journey. Tell me, in the privacy of your room, what is the whisper your soul says to me when no one else is around to hear? Write this word of surrender here in the comments, sealing our eternal companionship, presence. But my provision for you doesn't end with the comfort of the night. I have prepared something for your day, a feast that goes far beyond a simple embrace in the dark, and what I will reveal to you now will make your heart overflow. You looked at the empty places around your table and felt a pang of bitterness, as if life had left you only with the leftovers of time and the memory of banquets that will never return. The smell of fresh bread in your kitchen, which once signaled a full and noisy house, now seems to highlight the quiet of the environment. You sit in that chair, the same one as always, and the silence seems to scream the absences of those who no longer sit with you. But I invite you to look again. I am here now, pulling out the chair beside you, not as a passing guest, but as the one who prepared this table especially for this moment in your journey. I have pushed away the guests who only fed on your energy so that we could finally dine in profound intimacy. At this table that I have prepared, the banquet is not made of the delicacies of this world, but of a peace that surpasses all understanding and a joy that does not depend on circumstances. You thought the emptying of your life was a punishment, but it was my way of clearing the scene to give you what is essential. I am serving you now the cup of my salvation and the bread of my constant presence. You no longer need to strive to be interesting or useful to keep someone at the table. With me, you are loved simply for being my daughter. For it is written in Psalm 23, verse 5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." Your enemies today are loneliness, fear of the future, and a feeling of invisibility. But before them, I am anointing your head with the oil of my joy. Your cup is not drying up with the passing years. It is overflowing with a spiritual maturity that the world cannot comprehend. If you feel that your spirit is being nourished by this divine supper now, leave your sign of gratitude on this video and share this banquet of love with someone who feels hungry for hope. Sign up so that our table is always set for your moments of seeking. Tell me with an open heart, what is the hunger your soul feels that no one else has been able to satisfy until today? Write this word of satiety in the comments, declaring that my company is enough for you. Overflow. But don't think that this banquet is only to console you in the winter of your soul. There is a blossoming that I have prepared for your autumn, a new season that will challenge everything you've been told about aging. You look at the leaves falling in the yard of your soul and see only the end, the ground covered by what was once green and full of life. The world has taught you that autumn is the prelude to death, that after 60 years the tree only awaits the harsh and lonely winter. But I, who am the Lord of the seasons, invite you to observe the golden hue that the afternoon sun projects onto these same leaves. There is a beauty in maturity that spring could never comprehend. The scent of damp earth and the freshness of the evening breeze are signs that I am preparing your soil for something deeper. Your renewal is not a return to youth, but a blossoming of glory that only those who have endured storms can bear. I have banished the noise of summer, with its exhausting heat and crowds, so that you could appreciate the stillness of your own fruit. You are not withering, you are concentrating your essence. Those who left your path were like dry leaves that needed to fall so that your true structure could be revealed. Now, stripped of appearances and the obligations of pleasing the world, you are ready for me to manifest my greatest work in you. Your best years were not stored in old photographs or in memories of a physical strength that has faded. They are being generated now in the silence of your prayer and the steadfastness of your trust in me. For it is written in the book of Job, chapter 42, verse 12, "And the Lord blessed the latter days of Job more than his beginning." Listen well to this whisper that transcends time. Your final state will be one of an honor you did not even dare to ask for. I am restoring your vision so that you may see that every wrinkle is a furrow where I planted a promise. You are not a shadow of what you were. You are the pinnacle of what I always desired you to be. If you feel this new vigor warming your chest now, like an autumn sun that doesn't burn but embraces, leave your sign of life here, and share this hope with someone who thinks life is over. Subscribe so that my voice continues to guide your steps in this new and glorious season. Tell me, with the authority of one who has lived much and learned to trust, what is the dream you had buried and that you feel I am resurrecting today? Write this word of power here in the comments, accepting your harvest time. Reflores, now draw your heart even closer to mine. We have reached the moment when the last curtain will be opened, and the phrase I have saved for this moment will finally be revealed to your soul. My beloved daughter, we have arrived at this sacred place where silence and revelation meet. Throughout this journey, I have shown you that the absences that hurt you were, in fact, my arms protecting you. I made you see that your solitude was the garden where I healed you, and that your aging is the frame of a beauty that heaven admires. You were not forgotten in a dark room. You were set apart for an encounter that will change the rest of your days. Now, with your soul cleansed by my words and your heart warmed by my presence, it is time to give you the key I promised you from the very first second of this video. Do you remember that I said there would be a clear answer, a whispered phrase for those who remained until the end? Well, here it is, emerging from all your struggles and all your silences. This phrase is the seal of your new season and the shield against all the fear that tomorrow tries to impose on you. The answer to every uncertainty of your maturity is this: I can do all things through him who strengthens me. This is not just a quote. It is your reality from today onward. You can face the silence of the house. You can endure the longing for those who have departed. You can look to the future with hope, and you can be happy and fulfilled in this phase of your life, because your strength does not come from your arms, but from my spirit that dwells within you. I want you to embrace this truth now, right here in the comments, with all the strength of your faith. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. By typing these words, you are sealing before the kingdom that your dependence is mine, and that my power is perfected in your weakness. Whoever writes this phrase with a sincere heart will feel a weight lifting from their shoulders and a peace that no goodbye can steal. I am releasing upon you now prophetic blessings of rest and vigor. Do not feel alone as you end this moment with me. I am still here in every beat of your heart. If you wish to continue hearing my voice, there are other messages waiting for you on our prayer list on this channel, where I will continue to speak to you about the secrets the world does not know. Remain in me, for what I began in you today has no end. Your autumn is, in fact, my most precious garden.